Hey guys, and welcome back to the Family Cast here. Today we're going to be going over a really quick overview of all the gear that I've been running for the last couple of years. As in the previous video, I did kind of an Under Armour slash Kuiu comparison video while I switched over to Kuiu. Now that's been years ago almost. This is going to be down here, super fast, super quick. Not going to take too much of you guys' time, just a quick look at everything, kind of a few nicks and dings here and there. We're going to be looking at some wear. Each product here probably going to have its own individual review as we move forward in the future, but as of right now, this is going to be really fast. Okay, quick disclaimer guys, before we start diving into this gear, I'm very transparent. I want to keep it that way, and just so you guys realize, I am not sponsored, I am not paid to do any review or anything of that nature. I'm just a dude that's using certain gear and liking certain gear and want to share my experiences with people that are kind of on the fence and not really sure what to get, and hopefully can shed some light on what gear maybe to get or what not to get. So, that being said, let's dive on into this bad boy. Alright, so let's dive on into this thing. So, starting off, like I said, from the bottom up, so we're going to start off looking at socks. So these are the midweight mountain socks from Kuiu. Again, my stance on these socks are the same. I've used them a couple times trying to give them a chance, and quite honestly, I don't. They sit in my dresser and I'll wear them around the house. I don't use them out in the field. I just don't. I found them to be just not my favorite. Other guys may like them. Some guys do like them. I don't. I just find them to lose their loftiness rather quickly. They are merino wool. They don't dry very fast, which isn't necessarily a problem. They lose the loftiness, and my feet just feel like they slide around when I wear these socks. So I've moved on from them. I've gravitated towards Darn Tough, and that's what I use now almost exclusively. Especially out in the field. Obviously I'll wear other socks and stuff, but if I'm going on a backpack trip, it is going to be Darn Tough. That's just how it is. That's what I've moved to. Probably will try out some other socks here at some point or another, but okay. So next layer is going to be gaiters. These are the Katana gaiters. I went and decided to save the 10 extra bucks just because of the buckle system. I was like, you know what, I'm really not in super wet, dense areas such as the Yukon. And that's what the Yukon gaiters are made for. I'm still in some pretty rough areas, as you guys have probably seen in some of the videos, and I am still going through creeks and some marshes and stuff, and then up into shale. These gaiters have been absolutely fantastic. Snow, walking through creeks, walking through deeper water, protecting the boot, protecting the bottom pant. It's been awesome. Very good gaiter. I don't remember what they cost now. I know that they've bumped up in some pricing stuff, but if you're on the fence for the Yukons or the Katanas or the Yukons, you're gonna be happy with both. Quick caveat, I will say it may be worth the extra $10, and really, that's how long it's been since I've looked at the pricings of these things. But spend the extra $10 and get the Yukons. You might be a little bit happier, because as I found, once I'm trudging through snow and maybe some other areas and stuff, if I'm going on long treks, I find that this tends to slide down just a little bit, and that's not the end of the world. I'm going to snug it back up and back up to its height, the full extension height. But other than that, that's really been my only issue with it, and that's very, very minor. Hasn't been a big deal. Looking at wear, let's take a peek at wear. Like I said, I'm in some pretty harsh areas, shale, granite, coming down into wet from creek bottoms up to and back into it. The wear's actually been phenomenal. I don't see any threading coming out, and I wear these pretty much every time I go out, you guys. Like they're on. Unless I'm in like flat rolling hills and I'm not expecting to be going through any type of moisture. Yeah, they've been phenomenal. Velcro is still very, very strong after 2 years. Sticks very well. I haven't seen this thing come apart. Sorry, my OCD's kicking in. I'm pulling out like frillies and stuff. But other than that, like both of them, the boot hook on the bottom, I'm not seeing anything that is worrisome. I'm not seeing nicks. I'm not seeing stretch marks. I'm not seeing cuts. Very good material. Been very, very happy. And quite honestly, once I adjusted the boot fit, these things haven't moved. They really haven't. They've been latched on. They've been great. Very great. Also, the tensioning system here, I've noticed hasn't gotten loose, like it hasn't slipped from this guy. So that's been really good. Other than it just kind of sliding down, but I think that's just pant riding up and down with my steps and just kind of pulling it down. I don't necessarily think that it's the actual system failing. The belt system, it might change that, but I've been extremely happy with the katanas. If you're looking at them, get them, they're awesome. Okay, next layer, I've got 2 pairs of pants here. Again, it's still the Pro, and then again, the katana pant. The Pro I've been super impressed with. This is my favorite pant now. I know I've said before, I really like the katana pants, the lightweightness, but these pants have been super durable. They move very well. Now that they've broken in, they've kind of lost the initial swishiness that I originally didn't like. And they've really quieted down. As far as wear, there's really not anything. You guys, there's really not. And I've been using this pair off and these 2 pairs off and on, depending on what I'm doing, where I'm going, but I've moved to these pants. I'll explain why here in a minute. But they've been awesome. The suede knee pads, you know, some dudes, like, I don't need knee pads. I have come to absolutely love these. These are nice, especially as they get older. And with the knee surgeries I've had, or knee surgery that I've had, it just makes life easier. Knees aren't getting beat up. You know, if you're glassing, moving around on a stock, you can do it day in, day out, not have to worry about it. And even these guys, like, they're not beat up either, which is actually really impressive. Bottom pant is practically brand new, but that's because I'm wearing them with the gaiters. So the gaiters, again, are doing what they're supposed to do. Okay, one ding I've had with Kuiu and everything else with this gear, including these pants, is the zippers. They're just, and I get it, they're supposed to be super lightweight, but even the teeth, like they come open. Like the heat vent on this pant in particular, especially the right side, pops open quite a lot. The last 2 hunts that I've gone on, it's popped open on me, and fortunately I've been able to completely unzip it like that and then zip it back up, and it corrects the issue. But I've noticed with this pant, they pop open. It's fairly annoying, but that's basically the only ding I have on this pant. Everything else is great. There's a little frill there, which isn't an issue. That's got nothing to do with the integrity of the pant. Yeah, I've been really happy. Really happy with that pant. Again, it's still pretty water resistant. I haven't got these pants soaked, but I've been in deep snow with these pants and trudged through creeks with these pants, and they've been fine. They've been great. Okay, katana pant. This was for a time my favorite pant. I still do like the pant. I probably, if I did get this pant again, it would be a size bigger. These are pretty skin tight, comparatively speaking, to the Pros. As a buddy of mine called these pants on me as painted on. They don't leave much to the imagination, so I agree with them. That's a little awkward, especially when you're a couple guys out in the middle of nowhere. So I'll probably get a size bigger with these pants. Now, I have experience, and I know and I understand that these pants are not designed for this type of weather. I have now been in sub-single digit temperatures with this pant. It's not fun. It's not comfortable. even with base layers on underneath. And as I said before, I'm not a big long john guy. My legs stay pretty warm. I didn't enjoy these pants in that weather. These are pretty much a warm weather, fair weather type. You know, let's start getting in the upper 30s, maybe start to push it a little bit with these pants. But that's not what they're made for. They're made for 40 degrees plus. So, the structure of the pant, like quite honestly, guys, the stitching is great. I'm not finding any threads coming out still, even after the couple years now that I've ran this. That's going through some pretty harsh terrain. I do have though, it's a little hole here and in it, right there. And it's not really bad. I mean, it just looks like the outer layer and the inner layer is still intact for the most part, but that's not too terrible. Pockets though, right here. This guy popped on me. I actually ended up losing some like small items out of there. Not anything that was really like needed, but that's something that happened. Stitching popped loose, so that pocket is basically unusable unless I'm using something big that's not gonna fall out. Where in the crotch area, I'm getting a little bit of thread beading. I don't know what else to call it. It's starting to thin right there, but I've got on my thighs. Again, this pant is probably a size too small. As I said before, my buddy described it as being painted on. So again, getting a bigger size probably going to be a little bit more comfortable and a little bit better pant for me. So I'm not going to ding the pant on that. The thing I am going to ding the pant on though, like most of this other gears you'll find, are the zippers. The fly zipper, which is why I can't use this pant anymore. Well, I probably could, but maybe on a solo trip out in BFE. But the zipper completely failed. As you can see, it's separated, completely separated. And it wasn't like I was going super Hulk strength, zipping it back up. I just like normal, and it failed. Here I've got some chipped teeth here, and then the top stopper here, it's gone. It's just gone. So that was rather frustrating. Luckily that was like it was a short trip. It wasn't a multi-day hunt. It was a very short trip, so it was, and it was at the end of the day. So other than that, again, zippers, as you'll see through the remainder of this stuff, that's gonna be my big hang up with a lot of this. But overall, the pant's still in great shape, minus the zipper. I would still wear it if I had the zipper intact, quite honestly. Still would, but the zipper's gone. That's frustrating. Okay, so there's my two bottom layers. I'm now gonna move up to the top here. Okay, so I have the Peloton Merino Wool 125 shirt here. This is a great base layer. I've started to actually wear this without anything on top. I've talked about before, I burn rather easily. Once I do burn, I do tend to stay dark, but this shirt has been awesome. I love it as a base layer. It is only the 125, so it's not super thermogenic, but it does do a great job. I notice a big difference when I am wearing this as a base layer against my skin as opposed to not. And as I mentioned before, I have started to wear this as on the outside. Not necessarily recommended because it is merino wool. It's a little bit more delicate fabric. And I do have some beading and some frills starting to show up in certain areas. I got some threads coming out, but that's just normal wear. If I remember correctly, I do have a hole in this. Yep, there we go. All right, I got some holes here in the shoulder. Here, and here. It's in my left shoulder. Again, not the end of the world, but that's because I'm wearing it as an outer layer in some cases, and it's gotten snagged on some stuff. But again, that shows how delicate this material is. It's not made to be an outer layer, but I've started to wear it. It's a very, very comfortable shirt. Keeps, and like I said, I notice a difference when I'm wearing it as a base layer in cold weather, but then not only that, I've noticed a difference too when I'm wearing it in warmer weather. I've actually really liked this base layer as a t-shirt. More than likely gonna be getting more of them. All right, guys, so the next layer outside of that, which is still considered one of my more favorite layers, but I wear this at specific times versus all the time now. That's the Gila shirt. I really like this shirt. I still love this shirt. For hot weather conditions, that's what it's made for. Gonna run warmer, 50 degrees and up. This shirt's gonna be fantastic for me. If it's 40-ish degrees and I'm kind of moving around, merino wool and this, good to go, without any wind. So now I've been running this for 2 years and there's nothing wrong with it. No holes. I'm really impressed with the stitching of this material, you guys. All of it. Like, there's just a little bit right here, but it's not fraying. It's not going crazy. There's not a bunch of holes in it. Again, like, the construction of these shirts has been phenomenal. I'm very, very happy with the overall outcome of these garments. Okay, outside of that, this goes with me everywhere, no matter what. Comes with me, the Axis vest. Again, there's no wear at all on this guy, even on the back. When I'm leaning up against rocks and stuff, there's nothing. There's no stitching really coming out, other than very, very, very minor stuff. It's just normal use, normal wear stuff. Yeah. The one thing I will note, this is super, super windproof. And I get it's not what it's designed to do, so I'm not gonna ding it, but it's not super warm. Not super warm either. So wearing this vest, like if I was wearing the merino wool and Gila and wearing this vest, you're not gonna be that warm. It'll block the wind, but you're just not gonna be warm. That's not a ding on the vest. It's not made for that. It's made for 32 degrees-ish, you know. It's not an insulated vest. The one thing I will say though, comparing it to one of my favorite Under Armour pieces, which is the Under Armour vest. The Under Armour vest is windproof and very, very, very warm. And in the warmth category, it actually puts the Axis vest to shame. But again, I'm not gonna ding the Axis vest on that. It's made for the moving hunter, not made to sit there in glass, but I do like that vest. If I'm wearing it correctly, it's great. And what I pair that with is the Peloton 200. So I've actually had this for 3 years now. I've worn it for 3 full seasons. Love it, favorite base layer. And you're just starting to see where, like, this guy is poking out. But the rest of the construction of the shirt, you guys, really, it's holding together extremely, extremely well. All the other main stitching components, great shape. Nothing crazy, nothing really bad to report on that guy. Love pairing this with the vest. This with the vest, warm, very warm. All right, so now we're starting to breeze through here. And now we're coming out to what was my favorite jacket for a minute, but not so much anymore. I've kind of gravitated from it. It's still good, and this is the Peloton 240. It's a decent jacket, and with the layering system, quite honestly, throwing this on top of the Peloton 200, I haven't noticed as much of a difference wearing this, other than wind stoppage. I put the vest on, my Axis vest on over the top of this. That's where I noticed somewhat of an advantage. Does keep the core warm, but as far as in general, it's really, it hasn't added much warmth to the layering system on top of the Peloton 200. That's been fairly disappointing. Again, I know that is not made for super cold environments. I understand that. When you start getting into that, you need to start getting your insulation layers on, but I was hoping for a little bit more warmth out of this guy than what I was getting. Wind stopping, good. Wind stopping's been great. It's obviously not 100% windproof, not like the Access lines are. The other thing that drives me nuts about this outer jacket is supposed to be an outer layer. I like the pocket locations here for a pack, but I don't have a chest pocket up here, which you can go back and forth because we're wearing these chest rigs now. A lot of our electronics, a lot of our stuff is going to be on the chest rig, rangefinder, cell phones, camera, all that fun stuff, or on the pack belt system, which I've gravitated to, trying to get stuff off my chest and put it on the pack belt system. But I would definitely like to have a pocket right there. But that's a personal preference. Nothing against the jacket, but overall, again, the construction of the jacket, construction of the stitching, and the integrity of it, it's been great. It's been great. I've been running this for 2.5 years now. So spring season, fall, spring season, fall. So yeah, 2.5. And it's been fine. It's been good. Not my go-to, but I do take it with me. Okay, moving on there to another outer layer. So this is the Access jacket. I do find a lot of warmth with the layering system when I put this on, to the point where I almost get overly sweated out. And when you start to get sweated out, you open up the pit zips, right? Well, the pit zips are rather frustrating. They work fine, and I do notice a difference when I open them up, lose all that heat. I do notice zipping them back up when you have your pack on and you're moving around, it's rather difficult. It's rather difficult. I might just be monkey man and having a hard time, but I do find it to be fairly difficult when I'm trying to open and close those. The construction and integrity has been great. Been running this guy for 2 years now. It's been awesome. But again, I am falling back on the zipper construction. Okay, the main zipper is great. It's heavy duty. The teeth are great. I'm not concerned about that. The pocket zippers, and I understand the lightweight mentality and understand they're trying to minimize size, weight, and all that, and try to balance it out with durability. But the first day I had this, the day I had this jacket and went out on a hunt with it, late archery in November, I went to zip this up, and as it went to zip, it literally split. The teeth broke. There's actually teeth broken right there. Just split open. Okay, that's rather aggravating. It's a $300 or so jacket, and day one, I had a zipper fail. And it wasn't like I was yanking on it or doing anything crazy like that. I just simply was trying to zip it up, and it failed. Very aggravating. Pocket zippers and the chest zipper are all the same. And I believe, yeah, the pit zippers are the same. So I've been very delicate and very gentle with this jacket when it comes to zippers because of that one failure. And again, it might have just been a fluke, something in the factory that wasn't, was missed, or something in the factory just a minor defect, and it's just this zipper, maybe, but it's fairly concerning, and that kind of aggravates me. I wish that they would up the durability of those zippers. But other than that, wearing this jacket with layers underneath is very warm as long as you are moving. Running around, being very active, you're going to be warm, but the moment you sit down and start to glass, you will feel that cold start to seep in a little bit. I've stayed dry. Top part, if I remember correctly, top hat, or sorry, the hood and the shoulders are waterproof, has waterproof paneling, and then as you get down towards the bottom, it starts to become water resistant. Overall, this jacket is kind of very warm. Very warm. As long as you're moving. As long as you're moving, I've enjoyed this jacket. Okay, now the rain jacket. long as you're moving. Okay, now the rain jacket. This is the Kuiu Rain X. Sorry, I thought I got to pull it up. NX, Kuiu NX. It's been a really good rain jacket. I've really liked it. Out of the few times I've worn it, like I said, I hunt in Idaho almost exclusively. It doesn't rain that often. And when it does rain, it rains for brief periods of time, very rare, a really heavy downpour, at least in the fall, in some of the areas that I'm at. And this year's probably the most I've worn it. It rained for rain/sleet for a period of 2 days, and I was 100% dry underneath. 100% dry, works very well, decent wind blocker, fits over my layers, good to go. And again, the concern, as I've said before, are the zippers. They're lightweight, they're flimsy, and it is worrisome. But I will say with the Rain X, or the NX, I don't know if any other rain jackets are like this. When you have the pit zips, you have 2 zippers on it. And I found that for whatever reason, it's made it easier. I don't know if it's just the construction or layout of this particular outer garment, but it's easier to zip up and close that up when you need to, as opposed to the Axis jacket. Okay, last outer layer that I've been wearing is the puffy jacket. Sorry. And this is the Super Down Ultra. This thing is warm. It's warm. There's a huge difference when I throw this bad boy on. Sitting up glassing, I feel the chill, throw this on, chill's gone. I think at this point, the weather that I experienced, even though the weather I experienced was in September, just rather wild, I'm probably going to invest in some puffy pants. But again, that was because I was using the Katana pant and wasn't wearing a base layer underneath. I wish on that hunt I had the pro pant, but I did not. I left it at home. So I'll probably be investing in some type of puffy pant with this jacket. Has been awesome. Folds up super smart. It's been great. It's not durable. Do not recommend wearing this as an outer garment unless you're just going for a walk in super cold environments, because this outer layer is just not durable at all. It's also not made to be. So if you use your gear correctly and don't be a dingus like me, you'll be fine. I was wearing this jacket and was leaning up against rocks and shale and sagebrush and stuff and trees. And so I've got a couple holes, not super bad, but I got a couple holes poked where I've got some down coming out, like right there in the corner. And I've got another spot here that I can clearly see, and I know I've got a couple other spots. So that's me being a dingus. Don't be like me. Be a little bit smarter with your gear. But again, gear's gear, and you gotta use it. Otherwise, it's not worth anything. All right. So last but not least, a couple other things to go over real quick. I'll let you guys go. So gloves. These are the attack gloves. Love these gloves for moderate weather, even 40-ish plus degrees weather. They're not waterproof. I love the leather tack palms. I don't feel like things slip out of my hands, and I don't feel like I lose too much dexterity, and they work with your phone very well. So I can pull my phone out, use Onyx, do all that fun stuff without having to take them on and off. Do a great job protecting the hands. I hate putting my hand down in areas, especially in areas that I hunt, and just get stickers in the hand. It just drives me nuts. You don't have that with that. I have a problem with those. Love the attack gloves. So the next step up from the attack gloves would be the Guide X. I apologize in advance. These are super bloody, super crusty right now. Need to wash them, obviously. I just threw them back in the pack. Once they got back to the truck, they've been in the pack ever since, and well, here we are doing an overview real quick. And yeah, they're a little crusty. But if you start getting into weather that's 20-ish degrees, or maybe even a little bit colder for some people, and you're up and moving around, these gloves are fantastic. Very, very warm for an active hunter. But I do not recommend wearing these if you're going to be glassing in super cold weather for a long period of time. They're not made for that. Up moving around, your hands get sweaty, and that's what I've really noticed with these guys. Hands start to get sweaty, and then the moment you sit down, that cold really creeps in, your hands start to clam up and get cold. That's when you want to switch over to the glassing mitten or an actual insulated glove. These are not insulated, but they are warmer. They are good at blocking the wind. They are windproof. They are waterproof, which has been great. Hands have not been wet other than my own sweat inside of these gloves. Highly recommend these gloves. Definitely gonna invest in more of a glassing type glove so I can ditch these when I stop and sit down and glass. Okay, so the last item real quick that we're gonna go over is gonna be the bino harness. Okay, so now that I've got this thrown on real quick, I'm just gonna go over my setup rather quickly. Obviously in here I've got my 12.5 by 50 Vipers right here. They fit very well. I got the XL size, not the large size. Probably could have went with the large size given how much space is in there, but I went with the measurements and that's what they told me to get. And I've got both spacers in there and I feel like it's rather big, but it's protecting my glass. It's still very protected down here. The structure is still very, very strong, and it's held the integrity of the bino harness, protect my glass. The top here does a great job. It's got a nice protective hood on the top here. It's been waterproof. It's kept my glass dry, even as with weather and with the rain and the sleet. Even with the weather, with the rain and sleet coming down sideways like I experienced this year, it's kept my binos dry. The side pockets are good. They expand out quite a ways, as you can see. So I usually have my camera system here, like at least my GoPro right here, and then I've got my wind checker and usually some other calls and other various items on this side. And it's been working great. Cartridge right there. Okay. So from there, I have my rangefinder now. This guy, I have noticed is when I first got this bad boy, it's been very difficult to get my rangefinder in and out. This is the Vortex Viper HD 3000. Great rangefinder, really liked it. Left this hooked on because at some point or another I might use it for something else, so I'll leave it on. But this guy has broken in, as you can see it slides right in. It used to be rather difficult, but taking it out, I kind of like the fact that it does have some resistance still, just because I don't want this guy to fall out even with my lanyard. Even with my lanyard, I don't want it to fall out. So I do like that. And it's very easy to use, obviously. Pop that back way over. Lastly, I've got my ammunition pouch here. That's been a good new addition. Just like that. That's easy. You can get ammo as needed when I need it. Generally speaking, hopefully it should just take one. The wolf this year just took one, so I didn't have to pull from it. But it's nice to have and not need, if you know what I'm saying. There we go. It's been a great bino harness. I like how high I can get it to ride on my chest. I don't like things sagging down low, and I also don't like things coming away from my chest here. So it's comfortable. I like it a lot. It doesn't slide, doesn't move. The straps don't come loose either. They stay pretty well set in where they are. So I've been extremely happy with it. Okay, you guys, so as I've said, this has been a quick overview of what things have looked like for the last 3-ish years of running this Kuiu gear. Like I said before as well, each one of these garments are probably gonna get their own quick review, going over them specifically in their own little spits and shots, okay? So tune in for that. If you have any questions, please reach out. And if you've made it this far, I really, really appreciate the support that I've been getting. And if you haven't subscribed already, please like and subscribe. And be looking forward to seeing some new content coming up. Things are on the up and up. Getting really excited about this spring, getting really excited about this coming fall. Stay tuned. We got a lot of action coming up. And as always, be smart, be safe, wise.